Yes, yes, yes.
You ready to rock, man?
Man, I stay ready so I don't have to get ready.
That's it. That's
You
it.
know what I mean?
Awesome. This is a really cool moment here in the Ashley Home Store studio with Q102 and iHeartRadio. It's not every day that a piece of Mount Rushmore dislodges itself from the mountain and comes walking into your studio. The legendary, iconic Will Smith. Thanks for coming in, man.
Man, Buster, thank you. Very happy to be here.
Absolutely. Based on a true story.
Based on a true story.
So we're
yes.
We're almost 20 years to the day.
I know, right? That's
from
wild.
the release of Lost and Found.
Yeah.
Was that on purpose? Like you wanted to time it out?
You know,
like
well,
that?
no, it kind of worked out that way. We were aware of it, so we were trying to get close to it, but it was certainly not planned from the beginning.
Yeah, happy accident.
Happy accident.
That's what my mom called me. So why this album now? Like, why right now to release an album? What do you got something to say?
Yeah, man. You know, it's like I just had a very introspective last couple of years. You know, and I discovered new parts of myself and it's almost like a geyser went off inside, and you know, parts of myself I had like kind of blocked down a little bit, things that I didn't want to be and didn't want to acknowledge, and as
and
I
that's
started,
not good for you.
Yeah, you know, it is.
My wife says you put enough stuff under the rug, eventually you'll trip over it.
Ooh,
See?
that's
you can
deep.
Use that.
That's
use
deep.
that.
I can write.
Yeah. I'll let her know.
That's going to be based on a true story, season 2. yeah, that's for sure. No, but that's really what it is. Like, you know, I just kind of, you know, and I guess it kind of happens as you get older. You like take a really good inventory, and I just, you know, the last couple of years, and I just discovered a whole new creative vein, you know, and just different thoughts and different ideas started coming up, and you know, part of coming back to Philly, and then part of, you know, the concept of the album based in a true story is just getting back to the new beginning. And just letting it blossom and come out in ways that I wouldn't necessarily have allowed myself, you know, in the past.
I feel like you address it head on. Track 1 in the barbershop. It's like the comment section come to life.
Yes, exactly.
And you're face to face with it.
Letting it rip, you know. So that's the first track. I just wanted to get it out, you know, right at the top of the album. It's based on Eddie Murphy's Coming to America barbershop scene.
Yeah.
So I'm playing all the characters. I'm playing 3. Jeff is playing 1, and B. Simone is playing 1. And it's in the barbershop, everybody talking about me. So it was fun to like go to the comment section and like make a record out of it.
Yeah, well, because the reality is, if you were to any of these keyboard warriors, if Will Smith were to reply to their comment, they would be like, "Oh my God, I'm such a big fan." You know, it's like, well, where was all the smoke? A minute ago. You talk about this, you know, coming back to Philly. This is such a homecoming for you this week in so many different ways. Including today. This is pretty cool. I get to sort of be the one to usher you into the building here at iHeartRadio. Yes. So I say, welcome back to Q102.
Thank you.
But I know down the hall you'll be talking to the legendary Mimi
Brown.
WDAS.
Yes, Mimi. That's the one.
And then, of course, popping in with our friends at Power 99 and Cosmic Kev there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what is also really cool is you've got history with those radio stations, but here at Q102, you have a little bit of history.
Yes, absolutely.
And I have something for you.
Oh, no.
I have some footage that I know you've never seen.
And the roast begins.
No. I think you're going to love this. So this is, you're 20 years old, I believe, in this footage. This is 1989 at the Q102 Monster Concert.
That's not me.
Yeah.
Okay, that was me.
Yeah, there you go. I believe is that your nephew, Daryl?
Let me see. Is that Daryl? Yeah. Wow, this is crazy. Daryl. That's good footage right there.
We found something here, right?
Yo.
This is at the Cherry Hill Racetrack.
That's Charlie Mack. Look,
that's Charlie. The first program director.
Why is Charlie looking at that dude like that?
Well, because that guy was a wild guy.
Yeah.
That was Mark Driscoll, the first PD of Q102, saying hello.
He looked like he was about to get clipped.
Yeah. He did look like he was rolling up on you. And then so here we get some cool footage of you in the sort of green green room corralling area while you're saying hi to some folks.
Dude.
Do you have any memory of something like this?
Oh my God. Listen.
Like, does this click?
That feels like a whole other lifetime.
Yeah, right?
Like, who is that dude? That is amazing.
And
my cut was right, though. My cut stayed right.
It was fresh.
My cut stayed right. Yo, that's wild. I got that Fresh Prince chain on. I still have that chain.
That same chain?
That same exact chain.
Now, here you are in front of this crowd at the racetrack. By the way, this is now a Home Depot on the grounds here.
That's amazing.
Now, you nor any of these people that you're standing in front of at this point knew that this kid would go on to become one of the biggest global stars on the planet.
Wow.
You know, what do you feel when you see something like this?
Though anybody who wears those pants and shirts shouldn't even have an opportunity to be a global icon. You should be excluded. You should be excluded from any potential icon status.
Well, then maybe it's good that they never saw this footage.
That's amazing, dude.
Now, would you say that
it looks like nobody on my team is happy but me, though? You see that? Like,
that is great.
And listen, I'm not like, that's Charlie Mack. That's Al Decent right there. That was Ricky from Farmville. That was right. So Ricky from Farmville on the other side.
You're doing this side of the crowd say yeah, this side of the crowd say hell yeah, bit.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that's amazing, dude.
Now in this moment, you obviously went to superstardom pretty shortly after this. I gotta ask you,
the next Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that's 89. We won the first Grammy in 89, and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was September 1990, I believe.
So would you say that it happened very fast for you?
You know, it's funny. It didn't feel fast, but I guess if you look at other careers, for that, it didn't feel fast for me. It felt like so. This is 1989. So at this point, me and Jeff, we met late 1985. Mm-hmm. So me and Jeff had been, we performed around Philly for a year. 1986, we released "Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble." So that was, you were saying it with Mimi. So Mimi was one of the first people. Mimi and Lady B were like the first people to play.
To get it out there.
To play Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. So that was 86. And then 88, we released He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. And that was the one that really
exploded.
Yeah, exploded. In 89, we won the first Grammy. And 1990 was Fresh Prince. So, but as I'm talking about it, yes, it was quite.
It was.
Yeah, I'm talking about it. Yeah, and then 15 minutes later, we that's pretty fast. That's pretty fast.
So, when it happens for you that fast, did you ever lose that feeling? Maybe you still have it to this day, but how did you get rid of that feeling where it just as fast as it happened, it could go?
So I made the mistake of getting comfortable. So, pretty much, right after this time, a few months after this, we released another album and we flopped an album. Right? So I went from that kind of joy and happy and a gold chain with diamonds on it to having
eating your humble pie.
Yeah, eat my humble pie for sure. And then, so we had, we went broke pretty soon after this.
So that was the moment where you're like, oh, if I don't straighten up and fly right, all this could be gone tomorrow.
Yeah. So when I say went broke, we didn't go broke. We didn't pay taxes. So we actually had the money, but the IRS took it and they made us broke pretty rapidly. So pay your taxes.
Yeah, well, that's a good note. It is tax season. In here with the legendary Will Smith. Now, when you were coming up at a time where NWA was hot, right? Mm-hmm. And they were screaming Compton, and you were coming from West Philly. You could have easily been almost sort of in the same line, but you chose to make it fun. You chose to make it about the party.
Yeah.
Was that a conscious decision? How did that come together?
It's how me and Jeff came up, that a guy who's wearing those clothes, he's not if he's screaming hard stuff, he's not gonna be taken seriously.
Yeah.
So yeah, that outfit was kind of what was going on. It's reflective of what was going on in my inner world, So because of the nature of my upbringing, it had to be fun. I couldn't function if there wasn't a joyful energy happening in the space. It's like it was a little rough in my household, and performing became how I just kept everything smooth.
Wow.
So it's
you being true to you from the jump.
Yeah, I can't handle it when people aren't like in a good mood, and if there's not positive energy. And it's like based on my childhood experiences, I became super hyper tuned in, right? So when I walk into a room, I'm checking everybody's energy, and I get a sense of, I can just feel when something's going on for somebody.
Yep.
And I gravitate to, hey, I want to be a part of why they feel better, and it's part altruistic, but it's part my emotional need. It's PTSD almost. Like, I relate people being in bad moods to bad things happening.
So you're like, everybody, it's all fine.
Let's all dance. Let's all dance. Let's all dance. Yeah.
So when you were making the transition from singing on stage to getting into film, and it was also at a time where you had Ice-T, Ice Cube, LL, all kind of doing the same thing, sort of at the same time window. Was there communication with you guys? Did you guys ever like, hey, look, when you make your first movie as a rapper, here's what you should expect?
Yeah, me and Queen Latifah are the only ones who really talked about it. Me and Queen Latifah have been friends for a while, and we strategized and really talked. Her first acting job was on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and she was like, I like this. So we really strategized a big thing about our rap names versus our real names in acting and things like that, and what does it do in people's minds if your rap name is your name as an actor. So we debated that, and
like how to roll it out.
Yeah. Like, so people take you seriously as an actor versus a rapper that's trying to act. And at
that
time,
The Rock ever talked to you? I feel like The Rock should have talked to you.
I'm here if he wants to talk. But shoot, I needed advice from him. When him and Kevin, how they started social media, like they made the movie star thing brand new. So I was trying to catch up to what they were doing.
Well, I think that's something I wanted to talk to you about too. We're digging up nostalgia, and this is a lot of fun. But you're somebody that finds it such a priority to be on the cutting edge of things like social media. How did that come together and become such a high priority for you?
To me, it's like you get shocked when things change if you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
You can look up and be 2 years behind.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really important to creatively stay in the mix of just what's happening. The 20-somethings are always the ones that are making.
They're on it.
Yeah, they're making the new thing, and they will show where things are going. And so to me, the blend of, I guess, my kind of global storytelling expertise with that new energy and that finger on the pulse of what's happening, that marriage for me has been really fruitful. And it's something that I will continue as long as my knees will hold up.
Well, you got to see this moment with Doechii as like sort of a great example.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Perfect example. It's like I've been watching Doechii for a while, and then when the trend happened, she reached out, and I have a social media team, so they were hip to what was happening, but to be able to capitalize something, it was like the trend came out, Doechii makes contact, and so in 3 days, and she's out of the country, and then we have to get in, and okay, so where's Tatiana, and like trying to, it's a whole new way to make music and to interact with people, and it's completely foreign to what that guy in that video had to do to be successful. So for me, it's fun. Beginner's mind is super critical. Like I don't bring the any past success into my new endeavors. Fully humble down.
You're saying I'm coming to this starting.
I'm brand new,
line.
starting from scratch. Just talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old and get me educated. And I want to go all the way back to the basics. It is not beneath me to start at the beginning. I think that's how you really win, when you go all the way back to, okay, so how are the 16-year-olds, developing these things in their bedroom, these ideas? And
Sure.
I want to live my creative experience as close to that beginning energy as possible.
You're somebody who I think the world has sort of seeked out for advice at one time or another in their life. I'm gonna be a first-time parent in August.
Wow!
My wife's having the baby. I'm
I mean, you're gonna be here.
Right. But first year parenting advice.
Man.
Like when that baby comes out, what do I do? Do I wash it?
Just stay out the way, man.
Yeah.
And just don't have an opinion on nothing. Just do what you're told.
That makes sense.
No. The big thing, man. The big thing for me that I learned that was different from how I was brought up is your kids are not yours. They are their own thing already. It is not your job to make them what you think they should be. It is your job to be a gardener. You're not going to try to make a rose into an oak tree, right? It's like it is your job to nourish, and you can have 2 kids in the same house do the exact same thing, and for one of them, it was exactly what they needed, and for the other one, you break something. Right. So to me, one of the most critical things is pay attention. Let them tell you what they need, and the dictation of how and what you think someone should be can really break their spirit if they're not that. If they think they have to be something different than they are to get your love.
You've created a measurement that doesn't necessarily need to exist.
Doesn't apply to them,
Wow. Yeah, not only are you good at giving advice, I'd love to know, what's the best advice Will Smith has ever received, and who did it come from?
Man, I have been blessed to there's always been a philosophical giant standing near me. My grandmother, my father, my mother, when I came to LA, Quincy Jones, the whole cast of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the adult cast of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air are really, brilliant teachers, so I have been blessed to always have somebody to give me a good piece of advice in a super critical moment. And I think that we have to have elders, just like you have to have an elder that you can reach out to. And at this point in my career, and even with the music and what I'm doing and what I'm transitioning to, I want to be a valuable elder as I get older. So I'm cultivating myself and I'm learning things with my experiences to be able to be a
knowledge tree,
knowledgeable elder. Yes, absolutely.
You mentioned yesterday, by the way, great job with the induction of Will Smith Way.
Yes.
Yesterday, when you were talking about how your mom was very strict on your grammar growing up.
Yeah.
And I thought your mom would really get a kick out of this. In 7th grade, one of the assignments that they gave our class, and it was at the time where Big Willie Style was going off. So they had us all, as a class, listen to Miami, and we had to write out bar for bar every lyric of it and then flip the lyrics into proper grammar. That was the English task. So, you know.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I would say that our teacher probably chose a record from you, not only because was it friendly for, middle school kids to actually hear, but also, you had diction, you had, had grammar, you knew what you were doing.
That's hilarious.
So,
yeah, no, because I always wanted people to hear what I was saying. Sometimes, in rap records, it's like you can't make out what people are saying. And for me, it's really critical. I've always wanted to be a lyricist. I want you to hear what I'm saying, and I want you to enjoy what I'm actually saying. So the diction of it has always been really important to me.
Wow. And you can hear it now with Based on a True Story. It's like you never left. It was really cool to hear new Will Smith rap music.
Yeah, man,
so
thank you.
Really exciting for this to roll out. Thank you so much. I know you got plenty to do here in the building. We appreciate you popping into Q102, and thanks for your time, man.
And man, best to you and your wife and your new family. Congrats.
I'll let her know that you said nothing's mine, and I got to run everything through her.
Man, listen, you had some great advice that I got about having a new baby is from Keenan Ivory Wayans. He said for 1 year, he had 5 kids, and he said the thing he learned, he said for 1 year, you don't have an opinion, you don't get a vote. And he said 365 days after the baby is born, you can say to your wife, okay, I'm Buster now. I was like, I'm not Jerk. I'm not.
None of those names,
anymore. Now I'm going to be Buster again after a year.
Will Smith, you're an icon. Thank you so much for the time, man.
Appreciate you, brother.